Chapter 8. Since Lady Catherine now had other guests, it was some days before Mr. Collins and his party were invited to Rosings again, a week after the gentleman's arrival. Upon leaving church on Easter Sunday, they were asked to come that evening. Colonel Fitzwilliam seemed very glad to see them, especially Mrs. Collins's pretty friend, and spent a long time talking to Elizabeth about various subjects, which she found very pleasant. Lady Catherine noticed their spirited discussion. "What is it that you are saying, Fitzwilliam? I must have my share of the conversation." "We are speaking of music, madam," replied the Colonel. Lady Catherine remarked that she herself had excellent natural taste in music, and would undoubtedly have been a superb musician if she had ever learnt to play. Later, Colonel Fitzwilliam asked Elizabeth to play. Darcy also came to listen to her. "You mean to frighten me, Mr. Darcy? I may not be as great a pianist as your sister, but I am stubborn, and refuse to be intimidated by the will of others." "You do not really believe I wish to frighten you," said Darcy. "I know you well enough to know that you enjoy occasionally giving opinions that are not your own." Elizabeth laughed heartily. "Your cousin will teach you not to believe a word I say," she said to Fitzwilliam. "I must retaliate and tell you all the shocking things I learnt about Mr. Darcy in Hertfordshire." "I am not afraid of you," smiled Darcy. "Please, let me hear what you accuse him of," cried Colonel Fitzwilliam. "It's dreadful. The first time I met him at a ball in Hertfordshire, he danced only 4 dances, though there were ladies sitting without partners. At the time, I had not been introduced to any of the ladies outside of my own party. I do not have the talent of conversing easily with those I have never seen before," replied Darcy. "And I do not play the piano as well as many women. But that is my own fault because I have not taken the trouble to practice," said Elizabeth. Chapter 9. The next morning, Elizabeth was sitting by herself, writing to Jane, when a visitor rang at the door. To her great surprise, it was Mr. Darcy, alone. He also seemed startled to find her alone, and struggled to maintain conversation. At times, they seemed in danger of sinking into total silence. Elizabeth made a few inquiries about Mr. Bingley and whether he ever intended to return to Netherfield, but did not wish to be impolite, and so did not talk about him for long. After a while, Charlotte and her sister came in. They were astonished to find Darcy there, whilst Darcy felt rather awkward, and soon left. "What can be the meaning of this?" said Charlotte as soon as he was gone. "My dear Eliza, he must be in love with you, or he would never have called on us in this familiar way." But when Elizabeth told Charlotte about his silence, it did not seem very likely, and they supposed that he had been bored at Rosings and wanted to get away from Lady Catherine. Charlotte thought sometimes that perhaps Colonel Fitzwilliam might be a better match for Elizabeth. Chapter 10. More than once, Elizabeth unexpectedly met Mr. Darcy when she was out walking. She thought it was very strange to see him there, and told him that she often liked to go that way, expecting that he would avoid the place in order to prevent any further meeting with her. Still, she met him again and again, and often did not know what to say to him. On another occasion, she met Colonel Fitzwilliam on her walk. He told her that they would be leaving soon, if Darcy did not put it off again. "It's Darcy's decision. He can arrange his business as he pleases, since he is rich, whilst I am poor." "You are the youngest son of an earl. You are not poor," Elizabeth responded. "Still, I cannot marry without paying attention to money." Elizabeth thought that this comment may be meant for her, and turned the conversation instead to the Bingley family. "I know them a little. Mr. Bingley is a great friend of Mr. Darcy's. I know Darcy takes great care of him. Recently, he saved Bingley from a most imprudent marriage," said Fitzwilliam. Elizabeth was furious at this, but did not let it show, and talked about other matters until they reached the parsonage. Now she knew that Darcy was to blame for separating Jane from Bingley. He obviously despised her family. She was so angry that she had a headache, and decided not to join the others for tea at Rosings that evening.